Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another fragrance review for you guys, and I'm going to be reviewing this beautiful fragrance from Aerin. It's Rose de Grasse. This is one I've been meaning to review for the past few months, but I actually really wanted to wear this a bunch so that I could give it a proper review because it is very special and very singular. So if you're interested in my review of this beautiful rose fragrance, keep watching. Okay, before I go into the review, I wanted to read to you on Aerin's website the description of this fragrance. I have it over here, as you know. I read on my computer over here. So it says, "I love roses, and Rose de Grasse represents the most rare and special of these beautiful flowers. Like a piece of art, the 100-petaled rose centifolia, handpicked in Grasse, the French capital of perfumery since the 16th century, is at the heart of this meticulously crafted fragrance. Enhanced by Rose Otto, Bulgarian, and Rose Absolute, and given further depth by warming musk, this alluring scent perfectly captures the flower and symbolizes beauty and femininity." Okay, so after talking about that, the notes in this fragrance, the top notes are watery accord, the heart notes are Rose centifolia, Bulgarian Rose Otto, and Rose Absolute. The base notes are violet wood, amber, and musk. Okay. This fragrance almost made it to my Love It for Sniff video. I will link that one below. I was actually purchasing Tangier Vanille, or Vanilla. I always forget how to pronounce it. You'll have to excuse me. If you watch my fragrance videos, you know I am getting better at pronouncing French words. I'm working on it. So, but this one, I just kind of I saw the bottle, it was a little bit different than the other bottles, and I was kind of really interested in it because I love rose. I want to go to Grasse. It's one of the places I want to visit so badly, and I kind of picked it up and I smelled the cap, and it wasn't very aromatic, so it was just kind of like this. And then my essay was like, let me give you a sample of this. So he sprayed it on a little card for me like this, and it was beautiful. Like, it wasn't bad. So I sprayed it on me, I went over to pay, and as I was paying, I kind of went like this again, and I was like, you know what, give me that one too, because it was really beautiful and I really liked the rose. I love rose fragrances. So I wore it, and it was just, it grew on me the longer I wore it that day. So it wasn't completely like an overwhelming Love It for Sniff, but it was really a beautiful, very soft, feathery rose, and I really, really like rose fragrances like that. I think my two favorite rose fragrance profiles are kind of like soft, fresh garden roses and really syrupy, sugary, like deep roses. An example of that would be Rose Extreme from Micallef. And then another example of like a soft, more garden type rose would, soft, a little bit more gardeny rose, I would say would either be like Rose Essential from Bulgari or Roses de Chloe from Chloe. And this one just was really, really nice. So I've been wearing this on and off for the past few weeks, month or two maybe, and I wanted to give you guys a really kind of not an in-depth review, but kind of talk about this fragrance, because a lot of time when people get singularly noted fragrances, and I'm not saying that this is singularly noted, but this is a very clean, very distinctive rose fragrance. You're not getting much of anything else but rose, but everything is mixed together, and I think meticulously is a pretty the correct word for it, to create a very singularly rose fragrance. Now, a lot of times when people make rose fragrances, they just kind of throw roses together. Have like just rose and rose and rose and rose, and it gets muddled and it gets lost. You get a beautiful floral rose note, but it doesn't really feel like it's well mixed or well put together, and a lot of times when you put it on your skin, it just gets muddled and it doesn't smell distinctive. And what I love about rose is how distinctive the fragrance of rose is. I love fresh roses, I love garden roses, and again, I love syrupy, thick, sweet rose fragrances. And so what I loved about this is this to me is just a beautiful interpretation of a rose fragrance that is expertly mixed together to give you just rose, but there are other things in play that kind of elevate this from being just a boring rose, everyday, run-of-the-mill red rose fragrance. Most importantly, I think what really elevates this is the musk. Now, if you guys have watched my videos, I use terms like cut and elevate in a lot of my reviews. And the reason why I do that is I think that it's really easy to have an idea in your head of how something should be, but sometimes it gets lost. Like in a recipe, you ever notice, like, sometimes you'll watch cooking shows, or when you cook, somebody will be like, this needs acidity, this needs brightness so that you can taste the creaminess or that you can bring out the flavors. So it's almost like adding a little bit of salt to a recipe will bring out the flavors of something that's already there without being salty. To me, when an ingredient or a note is in a fragrance that you don't really distinctively get, but it cuts through and it kind of elevates the other fragrances and makes them work together, it's kind of like adding a little bit of acid to, say, a fish dish or a really heavy dish, or adding a texture to a salad. Like maybe you have a dessert that you need a little bit better mouthfeel, so maybe you add something in there that's crunchy so it's not all soggy, or it's like adding salt to a dish to bring out the flavors more without making it salty. That's what I mean. That's what I mean when I say that an ingredient or a note elevates the fragrance. It makes it better than it would have been without that ingredient, but that ingredient is not something that you really distinguish. And that's ultimately what I get from the musk in this. When I first sprayed it on the stick, the little guy right here, I think this is the wrong one. Anyway, I'm actually just using that as an example. I didn't get the musk right away. I just kind of got the rose. And I have a lot of rose fragrances, and I really like rose fragrances. But the thing was, with this fragrance, I didn't get the musk right away. And it was like, oh, this is really beautiful. Oh, this is one of Aerin's more expensive fragrances for the size. And at the same time, I was just kind of like, it was pretty and I liked it, and I might have put it on my maybe purchase list, but it wasn't ready to purchase it on the spot. When I put it on my skin and it warmed up after about, it took I think about 3 to 4 minutes to check out for the first purchase I made that day, which is the other Aerin fragrance, which I reviewed, which I will link below. I was kind of like, this is nice, and then at the very end I got the musk, and then I understood the fragrance better. I understood exactly what she was meaning when she was just talking about a beautiful elevated rose, because when that musk was there, it added that crispness and a little bit of brightness, even though it's not really citrusy or fresh, but it just kind of made it seem like you're walking through this beautiful like field or the countryside with this, like, the sun shining and there's roses everywhere. And that's ultimately, when I've seen pictures of Grasse and when I think of Grasse, I just imagine this beautiful countryside filled with perfume houses, and it's smelling amazing, and just this rose, and it was just really, really gorgeous. And that's ultimately what captivated me about this fragrance. When the musk came into play with this, that's when it elevated the other rose notes and actually made them sing louder and more clear than it was before I picked up the musk fragrance in there. And I really think that is just fantastic, and I love that. The little bit of amber that I pick up in there also warms it up a bit, which is really nice, because it also makes it distinctively not a syrupy rose, but it does set it apart from other garden rose, fresh rose fragrances. So I believe the musk and the amber notes in here are what really distinguish this and make this an expertly mixed fragrance that I really, really love, and I'm glad to have in my collection. The other thing that I really like about this fragrance is the fact that it has beautiful longevity on my skin. I am a native Florida girl. I live in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It is always hot and it's always humid here. So, I mean, I have an issue with fragrance longevity just because of the environment that I live in and the fact that I'm always outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside. So I'm lucky if fragrances last 4 to 6 hours on me. Generally, with light rose fragrances, they last about 3 to 4, and it's just what I expect when I wear them. This one actually lasts a lot longer than that. This lasts 6 to 8 hours on me, and the entire time the integrity of the fragrance isn't lost. I never lose the beautiful rose notes in this. It just gets a little bit more musky as the day wears on, and that's just really beautiful. So it almost transitions really nicely from a light garden rose today to this beautiful musky rose at night. So for me, this is a fantastic daytime and evening casual fragrance. It's really beautiful, it's really feminine, and it's distinctive too because of the musk and the rose, but it's not like a cheap musk. It doesn't make this fragrance smell like an inexpensive like room spray. It just smells really beautiful and delicate, but has this really nice substantial core to it, which I really love. And again, it makes it beautiful for daytime and evening casual. I might say for me personally, this is a little bit too light to wear in the evening, but if I'm going dinner time, I have been known to spray this fragrance because it's been really, really beautiful. I find that the sillage in this isn't too substantial, so this would be a fantastic work fragrance if you wanted to wear something beautiful and feminine, but not feel like you're going to be choking the person next to you. So this is also a really good party fragrance. This is a really good dinner party fragrance. This is a good work fragrance. This is a good if you wanted to go to the movies and you wanted to smell nice, but you didn't want to oppress the people around you with your perfume. This is a fantastic fragrance for that as well. Overall, I really love this fragrance. I think it's really beautiful. It's very clean. It's very fresh, but it's not a stereotypical fresh garden rose fragrance. It does have a little bit of uniqueness to it, which I really love, without it being hard to understand. Again, the longevity on this is amazing on me. It just smells beautiful and it's effortless. It's an absolutely effortless rose fragrance, so I really love it. If you have a chance to experience this fragrance, I would go test it out. I know that it's available any place where Aerin fragrances are. I believe Nordstrom's, Neiman Marcus, even Saks. I'm not sure about Saks or Bloomingdale's, but I know that you can definitely test this out at Neiman Marcus and Nordstrom. So if this is something that you are interested in, definitely check it out. If any of you guys have any questions on this fragrance or experience with this fragrance, let me know below. I'd love to know your thoughts. If you have any fragrances that you'd like to recommend based on this one, I always love trying out new fragrances, and as you guys have watched my videos, I tend to usually buy what you guys recommend, so I'd love to know what your thoughts are. As always, if you like these videos, specifically my fragrance videos, remember to give this a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue doing videos like this, and also don't forget to subscribe. It's free, and I'm free, and I put out new videos every Monday through Friday, and sometimes on the weekends as well, so I'll always have something for you to watch. In any case, I hope you guys are all happy and healthy and have a great day, month, year, whatever, and I'll see you next time. Bye!